how did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their source.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy sent those to 50?
Diddy's like funeral flowers.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions about me.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did you
As a competitor.
explain it?
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor to perception.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge. Came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She down like at me. She looked, I said,
Was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that.
There is a new storm developing that connects long-standing industry conflicts, recent scandals, and old suspicions. 50 Cent, who has publicly criticized what he perceives to be protected power in entertainment for the past 20 years, is at the center. He has brought up Diddy on several occasions. However, 50 is now implying that the discussion might cover more ground than just one billionaire. He has implied that the Diddy story was just the beginning of future documentary material that might go deeper into industry ties. Then he wrote, "You're next," in a post that went viral. Soon after, fans started making assumptions and bringing up celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z. Because they have been in the same elite circles for a long time, not because of verified claims. The people were compelled to re-examine previous partnerships, business relationships, and appearances at the same private parties due to the timing which came immediately after a significant Diddy documentary. At the pinnacle of celebrity culture, those overlaps were accepted for years. They are currently being re-examined from a new angle. Music, it's yet unclear if this results in actual disclosures or merely online conjecture.
These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay. But Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifalo's legal theory was, because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifalo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with they couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifalo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument. Whether you believe it or not, a jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it. And ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifalo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, you know, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifalo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense, because when Agnifalo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifalo he should keep going on that. And that the trial itself was absurd because the baby oil was really the...
Supporters also cited earlier incidents in which 50 Cent asserted that influential people in Hollywood shield their inner groups. Now that he has a reputation for exposing music conflicts in the industry, his remarks seem more loud. His message in Your Next wasn't taken lightly after he released a documentary that was seen by people all over the world. It was taken seriously by many. You have to go back to the early 2000s and the protracted competition between 50 Cent and Jay-Z to see why. Their relationship was competitive from the beginning, influenced by lyrical jabs, industry politics, and events such as the Summer Jam era. Like many rivalries in hip-hop music, it was a combination of personal, professional, and performance-related factors. Their paths eventually diverged. Jay-Z became a low-key business tycoon concentrating on partnerships, brands, sports endeavors, and, music, corporate power. 50 Cent emerged as the vocal disruptor, establishing his empire via business dealings, music, media, and candid public remarks. There are two distinct power models, one based on conflict and visibility, the other on boardrooms and silence. This contrast explains why people pay attention whenever 50 makes a hint about disclosing something. Snorts. It's not because of verified facts, but rather because his past indicates that he rarely speaks without making music it a big event.
Set his sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it, saying the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And Jay-Z is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why Jay-Z's been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because Jay-Z was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that Jay-Z's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean. That maybe there's something on Jay-Z's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z for quite some time, talking about Jay-Z is manipulative and he steals, and he's been pushing a narrative, and that Roc Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when Jay-Z went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyonce never won Album of the Year and complained about that. Literally the following year, Beyonce wins Album of the Year. which is just something like that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that Jay-Z controls. It's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, you know, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, you know, as to Roc Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget Jay-Z would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed Jay-Z, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So Jay-Z's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is Jay-Z involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a Jay-Z documentary, and it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram he posted a drawing of Jay-Z that kind of makes fun of his looks, and he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this, I'm not gonna post it." Basically making a joke, you know, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post, and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right, Dom Kanada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, you know, whatever, Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself, and I showed him the photo, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. LOL. Appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him for, you know, responding to my DM and confirming that, you know, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, you know, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, you know, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There is also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to Jay-Z that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, you know, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at Jay-Z, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with Jay-Z with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at Jay-Z.
Jay-Z gradually grew closer to other influential people such as Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, and exclusive business networks. 50 Cent often reacted with sarcasm, memes, interviews, and cryptic postings when he thought something in the industry was being handled discreetly. Fans, however, he believed that this time was different. He seemed to issue a direct warning to Jay-Z for the first time, implying that the Carters would be featured in future material. Although he didn't provide any public proof, rumors, music, quickly circulated because 50 has a track record of transforming statements, music, into real media initiatives. This is how Beyonce and Jay-Z unexpectedly became the focus of internet debate, primarily based on fan perception rather than verified facts. At that point, Oprah's music name came up. This was because of 50's lengthy history of openly criticizing her media choices, not because of any recent events. He questioned what he perceived as selective attention in some documentaries and coverage in previous interviews. These are being re-examined, music, but these were his thoughts and not confirmed charges. Since 50 had previously expressed feeling left out when he wasn't interviewed on her platform, there was also a personal component. Because of all that history, her name keeps coming up. At this stage, what we're seeing is a mix of old rivalries, past interviews, and new social media hints forming one large online narrative.
Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward.
As fans relive previous industry disputes, the discussion becomes more in-depth. Numerous musicians have revealed their personal stories with big media outlets over the years. Music. At one point, Ludacris claimed he didn't agree with the way his interview was edited. On Dave Chappelle has discussed how he feels under pressure when making public engagements. Music. After Precious, Monique talked about disputes in the industry while Taraji P. Henson has spoken about the salary gap in Hollywood. Although these are subjective reports rather than confirmed research, they are frequently included in online debates concerning media representation and influence. Some of these opinions have already been openly endorsed by 50 Cent. In its early years, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls was also the subject of genuine, music, documented issues that attracted media attention and resulted in modifications to its policies. Music. On the other hand, a lot of radical web beliefs regarding Oprah have been disproved and are unsupported by evidence. At the moment, followers are weaving together recent social media clues. The previous interviews and earlier complaints into a single, more comprehensive story. However, it's common for well-known people like Diddy, Music, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Oprah to run into each other through industry events, charity functions, business endeavors, and music interviews. At that level of celebrity, those individual moments are typical. However, when they are viewed collectively during a dispute, viewers begin to search for trends.
Beyonce didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is that she go back there with Monica and Kelly, and there go Patti LaBelle, and then there goes Solange, all right? And there's a reason why Solange is around as well. Because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now, they're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body, all right? Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z, okay? Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two. Brandy and Jay-Z. Now this would have been from let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now this picture of them was in 2002, all right, and this was I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well, and Blue Cantrell. He was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying the low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with. He piped you down. But before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why, hold up. Where'd the picture go? Wait a minute, where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here, wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with, okay? Jay-Z was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like, for the ladies that's watching, you know, like if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. He was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Jay-Z dated a lot of your favorite female stars from back in the day, but they would.
Diddy and Jay-Z have a lengthy professional history together, having worked together on songs, attended exclusive events, music, and moved through many of the same exclusive social and professional circles. Jay-Z and Beyoncé are therefore frequently brought up in discussions about Diddy's network, not because of verified claims, but rather due to their closeness, music, sharing rooms, award shows, collaborations, and secret industry events. Overlap is typical at that level of entertainment, but in the current environment, just having a connection can draw more attention from the public. Fans are paying more attention to ties that were previously thought to be untouchable. As ancient alliances are being re-examined, it's yet unclear if that attention results in actual discoveries or merely illustrates how the internet connects the connections.
Jay signed his contract. The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. No, those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that?
Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he didn't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. He got some shit. He's like drinking. His pictures with him. He thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it's like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah.
Yeah,
come on, bro.
That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation prayer. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
No, that was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
Hold on. Proximity.
Proximity. That's an SAT hit parade word. I had to learn that.
Do you think he knew all of the shit that was going on? Then I was like I
don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it,
like I said,
no matter how you answer that, you snitching.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a nice kind of question.
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question. Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Lechimendewa.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
That's the Branson lifestyle. You know, be outside.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way. Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up.
I don't got that in my past.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like,
I took.
Not that it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better, or to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget. But
Because of this, the 50 Cent's admonition seems unique to his audience. Music, they see it as based on long-standing rivalries, previous interviews, and obvious industry links rather than haphazard hearsay. 50's admirers view him as someone who isn't afraid to publicly challenge established Hollywood power systems since he has made it plain that he doesn't. Many people believe that the first Diddy documentary would only focus on one person. Rather, it provoked a broader discussion. These days, individuals are looking back at previous partnerships, appearances at events, and professional relationships, not as evidence of misconduct, but rather as a way to examine how influence functions in elite circles. This covers public leaders, executives, music, and artists who shared the same locations. For a variety of reasons, might some people have changed their public personas or disassociated themselves from particular incidents. Music. Yet, during a dispute, these actions are frequently taken to be more significant. Audiences are actually inquiring about knowledge and accountability over time, which is a concern that frequently arises whenever a prominent person is subjected to public scrutiny. Music, fans anticipate more conversation and more individuals to be discussed as long as 50 Cent continues to tease new ventures.
The 50 Cent Diddy doc. First and foremost, we've been talking about this thing, Jack, for going on 2 years now, and once again, thank you for even being, I guess you could say, a beacon during this whole conversation, as far as kind of spreading light on a lot of things that go down in the industry that, you know, the normal person may not even see or hear about, that happens in the day-to-day. Did you really think 50 Cent, when he first mentioned it, that there was an actual documentary being worked on?
Well, see, this is the thing. I can believe that it was happening. At what purpose? See, and that's the thing, like my opinion about all of this stuff is so much different than your average person's, and my outlook is so much different than your average person's. Did I believe that it was possible? Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be able to do a documentary? Why wouldn't he be able to bring in Alexandria to come and put this together? Like, the woman who directed this, she doesn't even seem to have a background in hip hop at all.
That makes sense.
So it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I mean, for crying out loud, Diddy sent him freak off videos.
True. Very true.
Interviews
very true.
about it.
Did you feel that just 50 Cent's name being attached to it again? These are two, as everyone knows, the three names in hip hop are Jay-Z, Diddy, 50 Cent when it comes to the status of where you could get as a business or a brand.
I guess so.
So for the top three individuals, for one to go at the other and release this doc, I don't know, what does that say to again, I keep asking about the hip hop state of things. What does that say to hip hop? Like, are we our own downfall? I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on what you consider hip hop. Like, I don't consider any of this debauchery, any of this animalistic crap. I don't consider any of this hip hop. I grew up in hip hop. You know, I know what hip hop culture is, and it's none of this stuff that people are selling.
I mean, when did it stop being hip hop? We're gonna go through the documentary itself, but when did it stop?
It stopped being hip hop when it became corporatized. It stopped being hip hop when certain groups of people saw that they could use it to influence the mass public. When people saw how influential hip hop was, it became very clear. Once upon a time, not long ago, where people wore pajamas and lived life, you know, the laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to good. There lived a little boy, and he was misled by another little boy, and this is what he said: "Me and you, kid, we gonna make some cash, robbing old folks and making a dash."
Come on.
Like, they did the job and money came with ease, but one couldn't stop us like he had a disease. He robbed another and another and a sister and a brother. Tried to rob a man who was a...
Jay-Z went to important industry gatherings at events connected to the same exclusive networks. Beyonce made an appearance. Oprah openly endorsed people that are now being talked about online. None of that suggests misconduct, music, but in the current environment, it is sufficient for names to be grouped together in a single discussion due to frequent overlap. Fans think that if there is a further chapter, it would feature someone equally significant to 50 Cent, who claims that this is just the beginning. Music, his independence is one of the reasons he is spearheading this story. 50 developed his brand, music, outside of the conventional gatekeepers through television, entrepreneurial endeavors, and direct audience involvement, whereas many other powerful people do so through partnerships and image control. He is therefore able to express himself publicly in ways that others might not. Music, his fans take his hints seriously because he has a tendency toward confrontation throughout his career, music, and frequently uses public records, interviews, and previously published stories to bolster his claims. Music, his assertions receive attention, but it does not imply that they are inherently true. People pay attention when he says there will be more stories in the future.
I'll say this in front of a bunch of people in the studio. Me and him got into it that night. And we started snapping and joking and talking to each other. When he said about Danny DeCane, he said they gonna keep on messing with me. Or he said the word effing with me. They gonna keep on effing with me, and I'm gonna when you hear people saying this, this is crazy. This is so crazy right now because I heard him say it. But to know that he was doing it, it's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother light right now, bro. He said it. I'ma drug them out and pimp them out to my they keep with me. And he was talking about Danny DeCane as a group. He didn't single out any one of them. But to hear that he did it, that's just crazy to me. We had a big argument and we started talking about each other and what he had and what he didn't have. He was calling me, yo, you broke cop. This like, you ain't got nothing I ain't got. I got a watch, you got a watch. I got a ring, you got a ring. I got a chain, I got a home. We went through that whole like that. We start talking about his teeth. You understand? I start talking about, him, his breath, everything. We was going at each other. That next day at his house, he said, yo, Gene, he called me upstairs and he said, yo, Gene, I couldn't talk to him like that no more in front of people and everything like that. Because I know me and Puff go back from the same gang since 89, 90 when he got jumped in it. You understand? We go back way to that time. So I knew him. You understand? He was like a little nephew. So when he started talking to him, I said, yo, listen here, bro. You don't say shit about me, I won't say shit about you. If you say something, you open up your mouth about me, I'm gonna talk about all your green dentures and all that like that. We're not playing them games, bro. You say, all right, Gene, cool. You understand? People don't understand, bruh. You know, the love and the power I had, not only in Harlem, Queens, you know, I had dudes all over New York City, from the Bronx, everybody that had mad love for me because I looked out. You understand? I made sure, you know, that people needed knowledge and information on certain things. They had a lot of people that was on parole that was in the music business. I used to save guys by letting them know their rights and what the people could and couldn't do to them. So I had a lot of genuine love from a lot of dudes. You don't be around a K. Slay for over 20-something years, a Chance Williams over 20-something years, and be some kind of sucker and was right next to him, you know, doing all their functions, all their situations and everything like that, running security for them, making sure their people were safe in the whole 9 yards. You understand? I had my man Pete, you know, I had people calling me, yo, look out for Nate Dogg when he come to New York. Look out for Mac 10, look out for Exhibit, doing stuff like that, Good Brothers and everything like that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that, bro, is that to be at that type of status and be that type of person and do the things that I did, you understand, I had to have people who were in that lifestyle.
Now fans are posing a more significant query. Music, might this incident alter public perception of the entertainment industry? Some believe that partnerships and reputations may be impacted by the upcoming documentary, Music, and others think it will only lead to further discussion. However, viewers get the impression that 50 Cent isn't finished. The discussion is only becoming louder regardless of whether his upcoming initiative results in actual disclosures or just more conjecture. Music, in your opinion, is this the beginning of a larger conflict or only a new phase in an established business rivalry? Stay tuned. Leave a comment below and subscribe for the upcoming update.